Dad let a bird escape.
Dad let a bird escape.
So my day started out that day. I had a very early doctor's appointment. So I went to the doctor's appointment and I got back home. And as soon as I got out of the car, I heard a noise. I heard a macaw. Now I hear macaws all day long, but I can tell that this macaw sound was coming from a place in the yard where a macaw sound should not be coming from. So I went to investigate, and I found that one of our scarlet macaws had escaped and was in the very tip top of a tree. We had a total of 5 scarlet macaws here. There were 2 in this cage and 2 in this cage. And then Charlie is down in a different cage with Moose. And when I had these cages outside, everything was fine. The birds cohabitated nicely with no issues. But last fall, I moved the cages into the building. One of the macaws from this cage became very friendly with one of the macaws in this cage. The one in this cage recently this week began fighting with this one, so I knew that I had to separate them. When the macaws came to me, they came to me with the understanding that this one was a male, that one was a female, this, that, or the other. So they came to me as either a boy or a girl, and I just took the previous owner's word for it. I had absolutely no reason to doubt anything. One of them is actually a proven daddy, and is the daddy to 2 of the others. But I never had any of them DNA sexed, and so I thought, well, while I'm going to catch the birds out of the cage and move them and transfer them, I'm going to collect samples. And that is as simple as just gently pulling a few of the feathers from the bird's chest or under the tail area. And so that's what I did. She was real easy to catch. Her name is Flag. She is supposed to be a female, and I'm hoping that, she still is. She's the smallest of all of the scarlet macaws we have. And so she basically just stepped right up on my hand. I put my thumb on her toe like I normally do. So if they were to try to fly or flutter away, I would have a hold of them. I got her out of the cage. I snuggled her up against my chest, and I was able to get samples from her with no problem. I did have to use a net to catch the other bird that was in the cage with her. And I was able to collect samples from that bird, who is supposed to be a male. And I put him into the other cage. And then I tried to get the 2 out of this cage. And that's where all the trouble started. It was terrible. It was awful. Jeremiah was helping me. We had 2 nets. We had a towel. There was bloodshed, probably a few choice words said. It was just terrible. But we were able to get one of the birds out, and a DNA sample collected. Got some feathers from the one that was supposed to be the male. Now look, that doesn't look like much, but it has been about a week. I wasn't going to record this video, mostly because I'm ashamed of the fact that I let a $3,000 bird get away and fly away. Just a terrible turn of events, but I was bleeding profusely. Other areas also, they're all healed up, but the bird actually took off about a dime-sized piece of skin. If it had gone any deeper, I would have needed stitches. It is just a surface wound. It is not so terribly bad. But needless to say, I did not let that bird loose. The bird that bit me, that was giving me all the trouble, I did not let him loose. What happened was, in the rush to stop the bleeding and stop the bird from trying to kill me and sell my soul to the devil for half price, and not hurt the bird, and definitely not let Jeremiah get hurt, this cage door was not latched back properly, and the bird let himself out and flew away.
So when the macaw got loose, they flew into this tree, and it was a really, really windy day. And they got startled by the wind or something. It was a really windy day, so they got startled by how much the tree was rocking back and forth, and so they ended up flying into this tree. Not that one or that one, this one right here. Flew into that branch right there, I think. And was there for about an hour, I would say. And it wouldn't have been that easy as them just flying down, landing on someone's shoulder or something. No, it was not that easy. They flew into an entirely different tree. Yeah, since it was windy, she flew from the tree over in the goat yard to this tree right here. And yeah, they sat there for like 30 minutes to an hour, possibly 2 hours, but I'm not sure. I don't know how long.
So I was able to move 2 of them over here. This one, that's Bandit. He's the one that really, well, he almost did me in. It was awful. And then there he is, Rainbow in the background. She's supposed to be a girl. I'm not filming them correctly, am I? Here, how about that? So I got them moved in here to this there's a 10 by 10 walk-in flight aviary. They're in with a pair of golden pheasants and the little call ducks. Got to clean their water. I've got lots of chores to do today, but I wanted to get this story told. But they're beautiful, aren't they? See the way he sits up real tall and she kind of squats over? That's supposed to be a sign of male and female. But I did get feathers collected for both of them. And I got them sent off. They're in the mail already. They'll be at the lab sometime this week. And maybe later this week or next week we'll know the results, and I'll pass along the information as to whether this is a male and female pair or not. But they are so happy to be together. They were in separate cages, but they were hanging out and side by side, and they were not being very nice to the other birds that they were caged with. And now they are so happy together. That's Megaphone Martha. Isn't she the cutest little thing? There's her husband. So, this is the guy that got loose. He had an adventure. He let himself out of the cage because I did not properly close it. He flew from one tree to another around our yard, hung out up in the trees all day long, and then when it got dark enough to where you could not safely see, he made one last flight over my mother's house, over the birdhouse, into the back area, the wooded area. I thought he was gone forever, but I knew that I had to go look for him, and he had apparently hit a tree and fell to the ground, and he was sitting on the branch, probably 2 feet off the ground. He stepped right up onto my hand. I immediately clamped my thumbs down over his feet, and I brought him back, put him in his cage, and latched the door securely. And we are hoping that he and Flag will be a male and female pair. and that they will bond and produce lots and lots of little babies that grow up into big babies, of course. So he never left our property. He spent all day flying from tree to tree. Every time the wind blew or a squirrel ran by, or a blackbird came, he flew to another tree, to a different place. I kept moving all around the yard from side to side, back and forth, sitting and waiting and watching, hoping and pleading and praying that he would just come down, that he'd crawl down, climb down, fly down, drop down. I drug a cage out into the middle of the yard and put peanuts on it, called his name, got fruits and vegetables and yummy things that I know that he would like. Tried to tempt him down, and he never would come down. Finally he did fly. It was dark. It was dark outside already. He flew. I thought that he was just gone forever, that he flew out of the property, he out of sight, and just flew and just kept flying forever and ever. He flew over the top of the birdhouse and was just gone. Couldn't see him again. It was so dark. But I heard a noise. Could have been one of the birds in the cages in the aviary in the birdhouse, but I thought that maybe it just might be him. So Catherine went and grabbed a flashlight while I took off just as fast as my fat little legs could carry me. Had to go through about 6 gates to get to the back side of the birdhouse. But when I got back there, I could tell that he was there. He made another noise, and then she shone the light, shined it into the wooded area, and there he was, just right off the ground. And I got him back into his cage, and all is well. I didn't accomplish anything else that day. I sat all day long in chairs in different places under trees in the yard, begging that bird to come down. And I was reminded of a story I read of a man a long time ago. A very, very wise man told a story, and it's recorded in a book, about a shepherd who had 100 sheep, and one of the little lambs went missing. And so he left the 99 and went and found that one lost little lamb. That same man told the story about the prodigal son. And when the prodigal son came home, everyone rejoiced. Several times in my life, I've been like that prodigal son, that one lost little lamb, and that shepherd has come to find me. And I hope that, if you ever have hardships in your life, that you let God come and find you. Friends, I hope you liked this video. Check out the video over here about us building the cages, and then the video up here where we have actually moved the cages from outside into the aviary building. That was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Now it looks like I need to go ahead and finish enclosing that so that nothing escapes. God bless you. We love you. Bye-bye.